maneuver through that and keep singing.
Would you say your experience has been different overseas, like as a Black woman?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. In Paris, yeah, they love the Afro.
Really?
They do. They absolutely do. In Greece as well. In Greece, they do. They just love beautiful people in Greece. So it doesn't matter what you look like out there. They have a knack for things they find beautiful. It's a very romantic place.
Yeah.
Like Paris, very romantic. But yeah, it's been a reality, So sometimes I get gigs because of what I am and what I look like, and then sometimes because of what I am and what I look like I don't.
Who would you say have been your greatest influences in creating the type of music that you create?
Ooh, no artists in particular. More genre specific for me. As far as my original music, I have an affinity for jazz. As I'm sure everybody knows at this point. But
you have a beautiful jazz voice.
Thank you.
Like so beautiful.
Thank
I was
you.
listening. I was like, oh my god, like very soothing.
Thank you so much.
Even the way that you speak, like you have a very soothing
Thank you.
voice. Like yes, you're so talented.
Thank you. When I didn't really start studying jazz until I turned 21. I think before then I knew maybe one jazz song, and it was really just an arrangement of a standard. But when I really started to deep dive and study it, and then being here at TSU and studying it, I just grew such a respect for the language. Jazz is just such a sophisticated language. You can't sing it just any kind of way. You can't play it just any kind of way. I mean, there's a certain method to even reading jazz music, and then it's a Black art form. And so being here at an HBCU, singing and studying a Black art form, especially a Black art form that was meant to be a rebel art form, because, if you think about it, you look at jazz sheet music and you look at classical sheet music, there are similarities because there's a key signature, there's a time signature, there's, a sophisticated method to playing it and singing it. But of course, we know back then Black people weren't allowed to play in opera halls or, make money doing classical. So they created jazz. Sophisticated language, you still have to have a level of skill. And, it's the bomb. Like, you just kind of, there's so many different periods of jazz. You've got marching band, and the second line bands and things like that from New Orleans, Louis Armstrong, and then you've got Duke Ellington, who was one of the founding members of the bebop area. Then you've got post bop, and then you've got modern jazz, and you've got contemporary jazz, and then you've got Robert Glasper, who's this like melting pot in between R&B, hip hop, and jazz, and so it's just this great thing. So definitely jazz as one of my genres of influence. And then also, I really love Afrobeats.
Me too.
I love Afrobeats. I was like, Afrobeats. Fela Kuti, doing saxophone over Afrobeats was like, what? It's crazy, but it's so good. So that kind of ties into the jazz. Everything really goes back to jazz with me. And then I love smooth jazz. I sing a lot of Sade, tons of Sade, really. And that's just, people would say it's R&B, but it's smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Same as Anita Baker. It's R&B, but it's a derivative of smooth jazz. And so all of those things go into when I start writing. Honestly, what helps me come up with a song is I have to think of a topic. And then once I think of a topic, then I have to kind of think of how I want something to sound in accordance with this topic. And then the lyrics kind of flow from there. Once I get a sound and a topic, then I just kind of go from there. So,
what's your process like whenever you're writing a song?
Lately, it used to kind of just be if I'm doing errands or if I'm working and I just think of something, or if I'm like going off on somebody in a text message, I'm like, I like that. And then I'll just
that makes the best music, though.
It does. It really does. But here lately, I find myself, I love to turn off all the lights and turn on a red light bulb and sit in front of a mirror on a big comfy couch in the studio and go from there. I don't know what it is about the red light for me these days, but it's the red light for me.
It like sets the mood and everything.
Mood. It sets the mood. I think there's more, being a mom now. I have to like lock in creatively because mom mode never stops. Whereas before being a mom, I could just, everything was just creative all around me. But now I have to like focus on my creativity and create an atmosphere for it. And so, yeah.
Do you think music plays a role in your life?
Definitely. Whenever I can, I take my daughter on gigs with me. I've made a very strict point to create environments for myself work-wise where my child can come. And so I do like the fact that, people ask me if I would ever do a girl group. Probably not. I do like to be the boss. Wherever I'm going, I like to kind of orchestrate my environment. And I have such great help and a little nanny or whatever. And so if they can bring my daughter and she can watch me perform, that's what I prefer. So it's definitely, it's something I don't have to separate.
Yeah.
Motherhood has been one of those things that I can kind of create my own reality within.
That's great. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, being able to balance both, because I know it can be a lot, especially being a mom.
Yeah.
So I love that you're able to balance music and being a mom, and it's like, a happy medium. I think that's really nice.
Thanks.
So you mentioned like Robert Glasper earlier, Sade, Edia Baker. Who are you listening to right now? Like who's in your playlist right now?
A lot of Wizkid. I am like heavy on the Afrobeat right now.
Do you listen to Iris Star?
I have never heard of them. Who is that?
She's the Afrobeats like singer.
Ah,
I think she was in
I think I've heard of her.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Tyler's kind of got me right now.
Tyler.
I don't know.
I love Tyler.
But I've heard of her. I don't know any of her songs, but I love Tyler. Love Tyler. I listen to her. Let's see, who else? A lot of Beyonce, of course. And really old standards. Lots of old standards. Julie London, Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, of course Sarah Vaughan, lots of Nancy Wilson. A lot of jazz is on my playlist. But when I'm like, all right, I'm done studying, I'm gonna have some fun. Then it's like, okay, where's the Tyler? Where's the Beyonce? Where's the Wizkid? That sort of thing.
Yeah. Did you go to the Beyonce concert?
Absolutely.
Could you see yourself like as big as like a Beyonce, or like doing your own kind of tours? And
Absolutely. Right now, the part of my career that I'm in is thinking about the next level. I am kind of orchestrating, what are those next level experiences going to be career-wise. And so right now it's about recording, and getting my own product out into the world. Because right now, essentially I've made a career out of singing other people's music. And so now it's like, okay, you want to keep doing that? Because there's a level of grandeur, if you will, that comes with singing other people's music. You could, the longer you do it, the better you network. You could do that in different places, but it's essentially other people's music. So do you want to be just a vocalist, or do you want to be an artist? And so once I decided, okay, I kind of want to be an artist. I really want to have those same experiences and gigs, but people actually wanting me to come and sing my stuff, not me going out there to sing other people's stuff. And so just kind of formulating and solidifying a brand based on what I want to put out as an artist and kind of develop as a product. So with that in mind, I do plan to, fingers crossed, prayer hands up, be in Europe very, very soon, singing my own music, jazz specifically. So there are some songs that I have written that I do plan to put out, just because they're good songs, but they're not really in line with what I want to do long term, but they're good songs, so I figured why sit on. Yeah.
Could you see yourself like going outside of jazz, like doing anything else?
Definitely. So far, I've put out an R&B record. I put out a pop record. Working on an Afrobeat record right now.
Okay.
Yes, and then I'm actually writing a dance record as well. So like a more of a dance, like disco kind of record. So just kind of putting those things out there just to show my range. But then eventually I will be honing in on exclusively jazz. So.
Yeah, you mentioned you have a pop record. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I do have a pop record. So Wonder. Wonder is probably my favorite song right now. I have another song out called Reservation, and it's okay. I like it.
I like it too.
Well, thank you. But I really, Wonder is my baby. I love Wonder. I wrote Wonder years ago, actually. I was working at Costco, believe it or not. I was working one night and this melody just came in my mind. And I went home. I had a little apartment, maybe like 5 minutes down the street from here. And I went home and I wrote out the lyrics. And then I went and recorded a demo. And I sat on that demo for 3 years. Sat on that demo for 3 years for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason at all. Distraction is what I can really say. But went back to it and was like, okay, let's lock in. Let's put this out because it's ready to go. Put it out. I went and did a photo shoot, and there it was. And so I really don't even market it as much as I should. But I think we were talking earlier about TikTok. I'm going to get on TikTok.
You should. If you put your music on TikTok,
I heard. I am tripping.
You should try it. Like, it really does help a lot of like up and coming artists like get their music out there and everything. And especially because it's a pop record, it's very upbeat. I think it'll attract a lot of people.
Hopefully so.
Yeah, like I was listening to it and I was like, this is really good. Like that is a really good song. Like I was definitely like, dancing a little bit. Do you see yourself being a part of a large music record label, or would you prefer to stay independent?
We all know the horrors of signing with major labels. But I see the value in it. I do believe that signing to a major label can jumpstart your career, can propel your career in a way that would be far faster than doing it independent on your own. Let's just say I enjoy being independent. I have no need to be swindled by a record label. I feel no pressure with trying to get a record deal, so to speak. But if I ever end up signing with a record label, for the record, just know that it is a partnership and they do not own me and I do not owe them. It is a partnership working with each other. We've seen so many, if you look at Ray, if you look at Cadillac Records, if you were in tune with Megan Thee Stallion's situation with her label, I could go on, but all of the horrors they're there for us to research and kind of, gain wisdom on. So it's not something that I would, be attracted to. Taking an advance, that's a loan that has to be paid back. And so, a lot of people and, those poor artists who get swindled by those things, if you are a struggling artist, you kind of, sometimes maybe you feel like you have no choice. And so what I've always wanted to make sure of is that I have the choice, that whatever it is I'm doing, I'm comfortable doing that, and I'm content, whether or not it goes this way or that way. I'm fine with, having my life according to my terms versus, being a mainstream artist owned by a label.
What do you wish you had heard from someone more seasoned than you as a TSU music student that you would tell current students who are aspiring artists or who are pursuing unconventional careers?
Invest in your own equipment.
I agree.
Invest in your own equipment, invest in it early, because the earlier you invest in it, the quicker you can start working with it and practicing with it. If I would have made that investment when I started working with different bands, I would have kind of been doing what I'm doing now, which is take my own equipment and play I get like a playlist together of instrumentals, and I perform with those, and I make money doing it. And so if I would have known that or invested in that equipment early on, that would have been really great. Just had a flashback. That would have been far better.
You want to share the flashback with us?
Girl, I remember just trying to go and get like different jobs. And I was like, if I could have just been doing what I'm doing now, then I would have had freedom during the day. Just would have had my time, because that's the thing. I really, really enjoy having my time.
Yeah, going back to that freedom again, freedom to just do what you want to do.
And the best way to do that is to make sure that you have what you need. And so invest in your own equipment.
Aside from you being a professional singer, you're also a real estate agent.
I am.
Yes. Okay, so in what ways do you feel like you can marry those two careers?
Well, and I have a musician friend that he actually hired me for an event a couple of years ago, and I stole his idea. But a real estate colleague of his hired him to perform to put a band together for a broker open. And she was putting on this huge, it was an open house / broker open, but she had different art exhibits. So it was part art gallery, part mortgage lending workshop, part live entertainment. It was this $1 million listing in the Heights. And so I was like, I like this. And so once I started my brokerage, I just started pitching myself to all of my top producing real estate colleagues that had these multi-million-dollar listings in different areas. I'm like, if you're doing a broker open or open house and you want to kind of, add a level of luxury to it, I'll perform. And they were like, yes. And so that kind of, I guess merged both careers into each other. So that was great. But I stole the idea. And I've done more music this year than real estate. I kind of just gave it a break because it got to the point I'm like, well, once again, you pick two careers that take money to make money. You have to reinvest in both of these careers. And I was like, well, music's paying the bills, so that's what I've been reinvesting in. But I know you still care.
Okay, so let's see. Do you want to play a little game?
Sure.
Okay, let's play a game.
Okay.
So this game is kind of like, have you heard of the word association kind of games? They'll name a word.
I think so.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that game a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a scenario.
Okay.
And then you name a song that can go with that scenario.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So our first scenario is, what song are you playing when you feel like you're in love?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in love. Oof.
Or when you're feeling romantic, or you're just in a good lovey-dovey mood.
Let me think. I don't know. When I'm in love, okay, we'll just go with Sergio Mendes, Going Out of My Head.
Okay.
I was in love when I liked that song. It's a jazz song.
It's a jazz song. Okay. Okay. That's really nice. It's how does it go?
Well, I think I'm going out of my head. Well, I think I'm going out of my head. Over you, over you. Something like that.
That's beautiful.
It's a cute song.
Yeah, that's really cute. I love that. Okay, so one last question I have for this game. What's a song that you wish was yours? That you wish you
God.
You
No,
sung?
seriously, that's a thing for singers.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You're like, man, I would have really killed that song. Definitely. What was it on the Control album? This is oh my gosh, what was that song? I think it was Love Galore. I was like, dang, that should have been my song.
My last question for you is, what's next for Kiara Michelle?
Well, hopefully Europe in the very, very near future. I mean, next year.
Next year?
That is the goal. I'm working on this Afrobeat song. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of the summer. My dance disco record, I'll probably go to the studio for that one sometime before the end of the year, but for sure by the holidays I will be putting out a jazz record. So.
I look forward to hearing it.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
And it'll be an original jazz record because what I've also learned, you know, being a jazz singer, most of the time you're singing songs that are not yours. And so, of course, from that you don't make much money unless you go on tour. And because I do like my time, you know, I have a publishing company, so anything that I write, I publish it from my own publishing company, so that way I own all of it. And so, and even when I go to the studio, it's something that I've already demoed, even on GarageBand. I'll demo a beat, just so I have my masters, and then I'll take it to the studio and let the producer, you know, be a co-producer on something I've already produced. So, and then I write it. Whatever I record original, I wrote it 100%. And so, with jazz, I'm like, if you want to start out, you know, with a record that a bunch of other singers have done, I mean, you can do that, you know, people will like your version, but it won't be your song. And so, very, very important to me to actually write original jazz music. And so I'm going to start with an EP, maybe about 5 original tracks. And yeah, I actually just came up with a track list, titles for the songs and subjects for them.
So where can the audience find you on social media, and if you have links or anything?
Yes, so it's just my name, Kiora Michelle, Kiora Michelle on everything. KioraMichelle.com, Kiora Michelle on Facebook, Instagram, the whole bit.
And where can we find your music?
Everywhere, especially iTunes. Purchase.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Jourdan Mathis. This has been a KTSU exclusive.
Going out the door, I washed away, you don't live here no more, but I know you still care.